Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Hole. My name is Cole, and I'm very excited today to talk about the debut album from the band Broadcast called The Noise Made by People. And this came out back in 2000, and it's a really interesting sound. It's a mix of a bunch of different genres. You've got, dream pop, ambient pop, some electronics going on. I would say primarily it has a late 60s psychedelic pop feel to it, especially with the lead singer, who, by the way, unfortunately, very tragically died of cancer, I believe, about 10-ish years ago, I believe it was. So that's very unfortunate. These guys are really talented, especially the singer. But anyway, I really like this album, and I just hope that you guys like it. But as always, I've got a bunch of clips lined up, some favorite moments, some favorite lyrics. So as always, let's just dive right in. So that's Long Was the Year, track one. And, as you can tell, it's got a really different sound to it, but very kind of 60s inspired. You got some electronics going on as well. But I like these lyrics quite a bit. It sounds like our main character, who's a woman, I suppose, broke up with a guy about a year ago, and as she says, it's a long year, and she's probably thinking about this guy and missing this guy. But it sounds like, for whatever reason, this guy has re-entered her life, And as she says, will you stay now that you're here? So she's not entirely sure if, the guy maybe regrets leaving this girl, or if the guy, he could be using this girl, right? Because some guys will abuse the situation, so to speak, in the sense that they know that the girl misses them, and maybe they just want a booty call, So it's possible, and she's thinking about that. She's wondering that herself, So yeah, we're not sure what's going on with this guy at the moment, but she clearly still likes him. But I like how she puts it, she says, "You're like the snow, never know," which I kind of take as especially in the Northeast, here in the United States, it just kind of snows whenever it feels like it in the wintertime. So she kind of compares it to that, I guess. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about this song. I really like it. It's a really cool beginning. But let's move on to track number 2, called Unchanging Window.
Attention senses, sorrow song, foreboding phrases.
So that's Unchanging Window, and I just absolutely love the drumming in this song, the percussion. I just think it's so cool. It's such a different sound. You know, it kind of sounds like a march almost. But the song is kind of poetic and dense, lyrically speaking. I had a little bit of trouble with it, but I imagine it sounds like this girl is trying to not let sorrow get to her. You know, she's feeling down, but she's looking outside, I guess, and you know, the sky outside kind of represents hope and you know, better days, and just, you know, like the sunlight and things like that. So this girl is really trying to, you know, not have a meltdown. Essentially, she doesn't want to have an emotional meltdown. I could be wrong about that, but you know, because when she says unchanging window, I imagine that she's thinking about it kind of philosophically as like, I've changed, but I look out the same window every day, and as far as the window is concerned, everything is the same. So like, mentally speaking, she's trying to think about the relationship in that kind of way. You know, clearly she's changed, but like, she's trying to frame the perspective of like, you know, even though these bad things happened, even though the guy broke up with her, even though she's sad, you know, it's not the end of her life. Like, better days are ahead. That's kind of how I imagine it. You know, I could be wrong, but it made me think of that, and I really liked it. But that's all I have to say about this song. So let's move on to track number 3, called -1. Just, oh my goodness, that sound, like, it's so different. I mean, you know, there's no lyrics, obviously, but I clipped this because I just thought it was one of the most interesting songs sonically that I've ever heard. And it kind of sounds like something bad's about to happen, almost. You know, it just has this really, really strange, really unique sound, and I just wanted to clip it for you guys. I thought you'd appreciate it. But there's not much else to say about this song, you know. So we're going to skip to track 4, which is called Come On, Let's Go. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the best song on the album, just like lyrically speaking and sonically speaking. It's just like the whole package. I'm not sure if it was a single, but it definitely could have been, you know. So anyway, let's check it out.
You won't find it by yourself. You're gonna need some help, and you won't fail with me around. Come on, let's go. I will tell you if you change, and who's been saying things it's hard to tell who is real in here. Come on, let's go. You know who to turn to now, everything's changed. Come on, let's go. Stop looking for answers in everyone's face. Come on, let's go. What's the point in wasting time on people that you'll never know? Come on, let's go.
Again, this song is just so beautifully composed and performed. I mean, it's just such an excellent song. It's probably my favorite song on the album. But it seems like, you know, our main hero here has found some comfort, I guess, in a friend, you know, possibly an old friend, it could be a new friend, but this person is trying to tell our hero that, you know, like, I'm here for you, you know, you can talk to me, you don't have to feel so bad, you don't have to start assuming things, I'll help straighten things out for you, you know, to the best of my ability, so come on, let's go, right? So I like this message, you know. It's always nice to have a friend who, you know who they are, you know, or they know the real you, you know the real them. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, thank goodness for this girl. She's got a wonderful friend who's going to help her out. But really, that's all I have to say about this song. You know, it's a great song, as I said. But let's move right along.
The mountain mine from invisible time. I am next in line. The message sent was of discontent from incline to incline. Oh, the wind will come, blow, answer echoes answer.
Again, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but just like the sound of this album, each song is so different and so unique sounding. I mean, I'm having trouble trying to think of other bands that sound like this, really. So it's just a really cool song and sound. But I like these lyrics a lot. They're kind of poetic. It seems like, well, first of all, the name of the song is Echo's Answer. And that's important because, you know, your state of mind can often be dependent on your thoughts. And by that I mean, if you're constantly having negative, depressing thoughts, you're reinforcing that feeling. So if in your mind, you know, you're saying like, I'm no good, you know, then the echo, so to speak, that she's referring to in the song, you know, she talks about mountains and echoes and stuff. What she's saying is, you know, the only way, or at least one of the ways you can combat these feelings is to not allow them to even manifest in the first place. So if you're not thinking, I'm useless, or no one loves me, then your brain and your subconscious won't have the ability to reinforce that, you know. So the end of the story, you know, the point of the story is basically like, don't worry about it, because if you worry about it, you only make it worse. So I like that message, assuming I'm correct. I could be wrong. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this song. So let's move on to the next track. So I skipped Tower of Our Tuning, which is a really cool song, but nothing really stood out to me that I wanted to talk about. So let's go to track 7, Paper Cuts, which is what you heard, which I really like lyrically as well, because it sounds like probably our hero, I'm imagining, has, you know, broken up with somebody and she's really sad. And she's now at a point where, and she's writing in her diary, as she says, you know, all of her feelings. But she's kind of unwilling now to open up to someone new, to try again, to risk another relationship. And she doesn't want to go through the heartbreak again, understandably. So as she says in the song, she says it in many different forms, but she's basically saying, like, she's closed her heart off to the world. She just doesn't want to risk heartbreak again, as I said. So this poor woman, I hope that she gets over it. But for now, she's just very, very sad and very, very worried and anxious. But anyway, that's all I have to say about Paper Cuts. So let's move right along. So that's You Can Fall. And it seems like the story of this woman's relationship has changed a little bit. It sounds like maybe she was the reason for the relationship ending. Like maybe she cheated on this guy. Because as she says in the song, it sounds like people are speaking badly about her. People are wishing against her, as she says. So I interpret that literally as she must have done something wrong, possibly like publicly or like openly enough that a lot of people in her life know about it. Something that was not very nice, and all these people know about it. And because of that, you've got the haters, the people who for whatever reason, you know what I'm talking about. There are people who don't put themselves in other people's shoes. They don't try to understand. They just see like a moment in someone's life where they do something bad and they judge them because of it. So like, if I do something bad, there may be a whole bunch of reasons why that happened. And even though I do this one bad thing, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person per se. So it just sounds like she has a bunch of haters, as they say, people who aren't willing to step inside this girl's shoes and try to understand what might have happened. So when she says that you can call, she's basically calling them out, right? And saying that like, stop talking behind my back. If you want to talk crap about me, say it to my face. So that's how I interpret it. So it's a really interesting song. But that's all I have to say about it. So we're going to skip a couple songs. Again, they're really good, but I just didn't really want to talk about them per se. So let's move right along. Yeah, so I skipped a couple songs. That was City in Progress, track 11, which is the last song I want to talk about. And I like these lyrics, and I like the name of the song in particular. You know, a city in progress is kind of like a poetic way of saying that, you know, take it one step at a time. You know, all these people are wishing you bad luck and stuff, but, you know, as long as you take it one step at a time, your city will be in progress, right? You'll go from like a forest or a field or whatever it is. You go from the raw material and slowly build up to a city. So even though she's at the very beginning stages of improving her life, you know, it sounds like there's somebody who has entered her life, because she says, you know, we're glad that you came. So I'm not sure exactly who it is, but someone entered her life who is kind of supporting her and encouraging her to, like, even though you have a lot of work to do, you know, your city is in progress and eventually you'll build that city. So I like this song. I like this message. But again, it's the last song I want to talk about. And that's pretty much the album, really, for me. You know, again, just a really unique sound, great singing, some interesting lyrics. And I just hope you guys like it. You know, again, feel free to share your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you like her singing? Stuff like that. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It'd really help out. I like making these. But that's all I have to say. So again, that's Broadcast, the noise made by people. Check it out and have a good one.